Got a little bit of a welcoming committee here today. Seals on a Buoy. That was my favorite band in the 1980s. Welcome. Welcome to Ensenada, Mexico. Just when you think it's safe to come to the Lido deck. Child animal takeover. They're everywhere. Child animal takeover. I think they just do this to torment me. Just to torment me. We're off the ship here in Ensenada. This is where all the tours are congregating, but we're about 20 minutes early, so we're gonna grab a seat for a second, and then we're gonna jump on this top 10 of Ensenada. While we're waiting, let's take a look at this beautiful cruise ship, Carnival Firenze. And of course you got up in the hills there, the houses of Ensenada.
In fact, in Mexico, we have two Baja California states, north and south.
All right, so we've only been on the bus like 15 minutes, and we're here at our first stop. This is the convention center here in Ensenada. First stop of, this is a top 10 tour, so it's gonna be interesting. We have about 25 minutes here.
This is California in America, and this is California in Mexico. So this is the border. This line right here, it's the border between California in America and California in Mexico. Basically, around the world, when people say California, everybody should think about California in America. But in Mexico, we got two Californias too, which is north side of Baja California State and south of Baja California State.
So the interesting thing about this tour is there's a drink at every stop, and the cool thing, you get a margarita 9 in the morning or a soda, so got options. Outside of the drinks, there's a little bit of a shopping area to sit down. So much cool architecture here. I think this is considered mission style architecture. But
Ronaldo McDonald. All right, guys, you live so you can say that's high school. This is my only job in my life. You know what I'm saying? Christmas dinner, you know what is it? Tamales. Los tamales. You know, tamales, we don't need tamales a lot.
all right, stop number 2, going to the blowhole. We've done about an hour and 30 minutes to get here, but yeah, this is an interesting site.
Okay, I'll show you where you're gonna have it. So you're gonna go to my friend?
Welcome guys, tequila and mezcal tasting in your way back. Remember, you can take 2 liters per person back to the ship duty free. 2 liters is like 3 of these or 6 of these per adult. Of course, they're gonna hold the bottle for you when you land to give it back to your room. But the last night on the cruise, you can ask for 1 bottle and take it to your cabin. Okay, that's how it works.
¿Se quieren por los tres, oiga? Los tres. Pina colada, gentlemen, coconut water. Solo Dios la vida podrá.
So we made our way through the absolute gauntlet of tourism, and now we're here with our closest friends waiting to see the blowhole explode. So the blowhole is essentially kind of a pressure point of when the Pacific Ocean surges into this little crevasse. It's pretty up here. It's amazing the amount of commerce that's set up around this one little viewing spot. And the interesting thing is now we gotta climb our way out of here back through the gauntlet again. But we've got an hour to get to lunch, so it should be interesting. All right, let me jump in right here. It's been a few days since I was in Ensenada, and I just don't know how I feel about this part of the tour. It was 90 minutes to get to La Bufadora, the blowhole, and I'd been to Cabo San Lucas before, and I'd seen the natural arch. I took a boat out there, and I had a really nice nature type experience, and I thought that's what the blowhole was going to be. It wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. We parked at the top of a hill. We were shown where our lunch was going to be, Lydia's Tacos. We'll pick the story up there in a little bit. But then you had to descend, I felt like a quarter of a mile through vendors on both sides of you. And the vendors were just, it was just, like I said, a gauntlet of tourism. People constantly soliciting you to try a sample, to come into a shop, we just kind of plowed through so that we could get to the blowhole. But once you got to the blowhole, it was a little anticlimactic. You had like a couple big shots. I didn't know what I was expecting, so maybe my expectations were too great. But a lot of people down there, and then you had to climb your way back out through the gauntlet again. And it was a lot. It was more interactive than I wanted. I understand folks are out there trying to make a living, but it's, just people in your face, and nobody was super like, you didn't feel threatened or anything like that, but it was person after person. Try the candy, try the blanket, try the, I don't know. It wasn't my scene, especially after a 1 hour and 30-minute bus ride. I struggle to even say go to the blowhole. Maybe if you've been there, maybe somebody loved it, but the experience before the blowhole was such a negative for me that I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like this part of the tour to the point where I didn't even film anything climbing back out from the blowhole. Beautiful there, but getting down there was a little bit of a challenge, a little annoying. Let's pick it up with lunch. All right, so we made our way back to the top of the hill. We're at Lydia's Tacos, and I've got a shrimp taco and a beef taco and a soda. So we've made our way back into Ensenada, another 90-minute bus ride, and we're at our third stop for a little bit of a wine tasting. Here we are, St. Thomas Winery.
I like the dry.
The flavors and aromas are very smooth, and you can find tropical flavors. Cashew fruit, guanabana.
Hey, the kids, I need to want to guess.
So we're saying goodbye to the St. Thomas Winery. Well, we're making our way back to the ship.
Papa to ask his advice. His papa said, son, I have to say no. That girl is your sister, but your mama don't know. Oh, is me. Shame and scandal in the family. Oh, everybody is me.
If you don't have it, welcome to your house.
All right, goodbye to the tour bus. Now back on the ship through security. It certainly was the full day. It's close to 3 p.m. I think I have to be back on board at 4:30, so not a lot of time to do everything else. But interesting tour, top 10. I gotta go back and look in the description maybe to identify the top 10. So we'll jump back on the cruise ship. I'll do that work and we'll go from there. But I've got some final thoughts. Got some maintenance going on here. Maintenance on the ship is never done. Never done. So here's the official description of the Ensenada Top 10 with lunch. Enjoy a 50-minute drive while your certified tour guide shares the history of the local area and local traditions. That was certainly done well. Wick, the tour guide, was fantastic. I told him at one point, I learned more about Mexico on this tour than I had, 10 other tours I've been, in Mexico. Just a little beginning spot where he went through the map of California in the US and then the map of California in Mexico. So much great information throughout the entire tour. A fantastic tour guide. Again, shout out to Wick, my fellow 1971er. He was fantastic. Then, 90 minutes to get to La Bufadora, the blowhole, home of the blowhole, the largest marine geyser in North America. This underwater cave sucks in seawater and shoots it straight up into the air, drenching visitors. We saw a couple big explosions of the geyser, but nothing certainly drenching. And again, I think that whole experience was tainted for me a little bit, just trying to get down there through the shopping. It's taco time. While at the La Bufadora, you're provided with lunch at Lydia's Tacos, arguably the best in town. Those may have been the best tacos I've ever had. Lunch was included. You got to choose 2 tacos and a drink. You could have bought more tacos. I should have bought more tacos. I'm craving those tacos right now. Free time, 1.5 hours of free time visiting the open air market to shop for souvenirs, regional arts, Yeah, we were there at the La Bufadora and the open air market. Steve and I just stayed up near the taco stand. The restrooms, because of the plumbing situation there, they charge for the restrooms 50 cents to use the restroom. It really became an exercise of, I can't wait to get back on the bus and get out of here, even though lunch was great. Riviera del Pacifico, take a guided tour of the Riviera del Pacifico glamorous resort and casino during the roaring 1930s with an incredible story that your tour guide will share with you. I believe that this was the first stop on the tour, the convention center. They certainly had the complimentary margaritas there. Bodegas de Santos Tomas Winery. Visit Mexico's second oldest winery tasting. We did that. That was the last stop that we had. That was good. You got to taste 3 wines. You got to taste olive oil. Wine and olive oil were available for purchase. A beautiful, beautiful winery. Old Ensenada City Tour. You'll be taking on a tour of Old Ensenada and Park Revolucion, the oldest park in the state. The famous fish market known as El Mercado Negro in the Civic Plaza and the statues. I don't know that I could point that out to you as something that I remembered on the tour. So I'm assuming that we did that, but I don't. That doesn't come to mind when I'm thinking about that tour. And then the Tequileria Donna Ingracia. Time permitting, your last stop will be a family-owned tequileria. I don't think we did that either. We did get offered tequila at La Bufadora at a tequila shop there, but I don't think that was this. I think this would have been a different stop, time permitting. What's included? Taco lunch, yes. Free margarita, yes. Wine tasting at Santos Tomas Winery, yes. And then there was a tequila tasting that we could have done for free there in La Bufadora. So I feel like we got everything that we were supposed to get with this tour. But again, as far as like if I wanted to make a list of top 10 things in Ensenada, it's not necessarily presented like that. Here's 10 things. And that was my challenge, I guess, when I was looking at this tour. It's $60. I think I said $55. Kids are $55. Adults $59.99. 5.5 hours off the cruise ship. And I was thinking, okay, that may not be bad if there's 10 different stops. You're not going to be on the bus that long, because I've been a little leery of long bus trips. But yeah, maybe I missed it digging deep or something like that. But you do spend a lot of time on the bus, hour and a half to La Bufadora, hour and a half back. yeah, I feel like there was value there. $60. Certainly, I paid a lot more the previous day in Catalina just for an hour to go see some sea lions and seals. And so I think there's definitely value. This is definitely an easy tour. And then, you know, it was worth the $60 just to have Wick go through all of the information he did about Ensenada. I was completely unfamiliar with Ensenada. It's a town, a city, really, of 400,000. It's about the same size as Tampa, Florida. A really modern and old city at the same time, which I did not anticipate how modern that city was. I was, you know, of course, unfamiliar with it. And so that's, you know, the joy of going and exploring new places and being surprised about things about the place. So would I recommend the tour? I don't know. I would recommend if you could somehow get Wick for a couple hours to take you around Ensenada, I would probably skip the blowhole. Maybe find a taqueria closer that was as good as Lydia's, if that's possible. That was really delicious, but I don't know if it's an hour and a half drive delicious. Yeah, I don't know. You know, again, we all have different tastes, so you guys are going to have to judge for yourself on this one. But I did record just a goodbye and a final shot of Ensenada, so let me share that with you. But I would love to hear your feedback. Have you done this tour? And yeah, if you like these adventures and my take on excurting, please consider subscribing by hitting that subscribe button. And now we'll go to Tony in the past to wrap it up. Take one last look at Ensenada. It's almost the all aboard time, but man, it's turned out to be a gorgeous day. So top 10, was it really a top 10? I don't know. Again, this tour, maybe I'm just over like long bus rides, but the hour and a half to the blowhole and the hour and a half back, plus the gauntlet of tourism, it was a little much for me. But look, you know, any day on vacation and at port's better than probably really any other day. So I can't complain too much, but hopefully you've seen some things here that'll help you decide on whether or not to take this tour. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the show today. Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.